This is going to be a quadruped pelvic floor breathwork technique. One of my go-tos here for people who are really struggling to really access the pelvic floor with the breath. All I'll really need here is a physio ball. I have here a 65 centimeter physio ball, and all I'm gonna be doing here is I'm gonna have it against the wall as I'm in the quadruped position. Starting off in my quadruped position, I'm gonna have a neutral spine. Shoulder is gonna be stacked over my wrist. My hips are gonna be stacked over my knees, but I'm gonna initiate a sort of rock back. Now the ball here is gonna be into the wall, and I wanna basically push my pelvic bowl into the ball here. A couple of reasons why this is important is because when I push the weight of my pelvic bowl into the ball, I'm gonna feel the pelvic floor expand. So I have a technique where I teach diaphragmatic breathing using the L's of your hands into your waist. This is very much similar to that principle here, only instead of L's of your hands, you have a physio ball here kind of pressing into the pelvic floor. So as your pelvic floor expands, what's happening is you're gonna feel the feedback of the ball pushing against your pelvic floor through that expansion and compression. So this is good because really what we're doing here is we're tying in the nervous system and helping your brain map out what it feels like to access pelvic floor through the breath. So very powerful technique here. So I'm gonna start off quadruped in this position. Remember, shoulders over wrist, nice big hands, splayed wide, feeling engagement through the palms, through my fingers as well. I wanna make sure the ball isn't high and it's just kind of running into the back end of my pelvis. I want to have it, again, in that pelvic bowl. We wanna neutralize the spine first of all, and when you do that, that's gonna naturally turn your pelvis into a posterior tilt. Another cue for a posterior pelvic tilt is think of it like you have an imaginary tail. Tuck that tail between your legs. Don't overdo it where you start to round out through the lumbar. We just wanna find a neutral position. And then from there, you're gonna place a ball right into that pelvic bowl area. And then I'm just gonna start to push weight into my hands and sit back into the bowl. For the feet, I wanna have my knees grounded. I wanna have the outside of my shins grounded, so my knees are gonna be kind of outwards. And then I'm gonna have the tops of my feet connected. So I'm gonna start to press into my hands as I sit weight into the ball. Nice neutral spine. Make sure the ribs are pulled down. Ribs need to be stacked over the pelvis in order for this to really work. If I'm crunked up, again, that means you're not in a neutral spine, which that's kind of a prerequisite to get into this position to start. Being that you're already in a neutral spine, shoulders are relaxed, neck is nice and long and engaged. I don't want to have a droopy head. I'm going to sit the weight back again by pushing through my hands, take that breath in. And as I take the breath in, I should feel some pressure on my pelvic floor the deeper I breathe. If that's not happening, the likelihood here is that you're using a secondary strategy. That's through your chest, through your neck. You can put as much weight as you're comfortably able into the ball. The harder you go, the harder the ball is pushing back, so the more feedback you get. But don't over fatigue the hands. Start to go grimace neck here. Make sure we're not compensating is essentially what I'm trying to get at here. Nice and neutral positions. Relax through the upper body, using the breath and sinking that with the trunk expansion down into pelvic floor. And that is your quadruped pelvic floor breathwork technique.